If you're watching this now, it's because I'm officially at the end of my journey. Now I'm going home 12 and a half centimeters taller, which to us Americans, for those that don't usually count in centimeters, that's around 5 inches. It's a pretty substantial amount, and a pretty noticeable amount. So if you want to take on that risk, then, and you want to put forth that money, then, just do it. Do what you feel comfortable with and do what you think you can handle. If you want to push your limits a little bit, by all means, but expect that more length will be more difficult, and the rehab is going to be a little more difficult than if you go a shorter amount of length. I ended up lengthening overall close to 13 centimeters, so just about maybe 12.5. So I made quite a jump. Not everybody is going to make that jump. That's probably more than average, I would say, that their patients have. People usually go around 9, but I chose to go longer. And maybe that's why I ran into a few complications. But hey, they were dealt with. I was fully aware of the risks, and the doctors were fully transparent throughout the entire process. And they're never going to let you continue to lengthen if they don't think it's safe for you to do so. That was what I wanted to do. I was willing to spend the money, and I was willing to put in the work to get myself to where I wanted to be. Over my past 7 months in Yerevan, I have had quite an experience. Aside from the whole operation itself, I got to see the city, went to a museum, and then even a jazz club. Back in, I believe, June, they took us to a beautiful lake, Lake Sevan, where we had a wonderful meal right on the dock. And then we went to a 12th century monastery where we looked around and walked around as much as we could before we got tired. After that, we went to the local town Dilijan, where we had lunch along with drinks and laughs. We had probably a group of around 8 to 10 patients. Myself, the others were mainly Japanese, and then another American. And later down the line, they took us to a winery in the summer, which was gorgeous. It was maybe 30 minutes outside of the city, and we got to see the whole process of how they make the wine and where they store the wine. And then, of course, we got to do some wine tasting, which was incredible and delicious if you're a fan of wine. If you're not, I mean, it's a nice experience to get out and, get out of the apartment for a couple of hours, because it can get very lonesome, especially if you're a foreigner, which most of us here are. And that's policy that the center likes to have, is to take their foreign patients out, just because they know how difficult it can be being away from family and friends and just your home environment in general. And then just a couple of days ago, they took a smaller group of us to some hot springs, which was super relaxing, and it's supposed to be beneficial for your recovery due to the warm water and the minerals that relax the muscles and loosen up the joints in your legs. And on that day, it was myself, a female patient also from America, one of our patients from Austria, and then lastly, one of our Japanese patients who's been here quite a while as well. And that day was great. I already have my frames off, but I'm still rehabbing and getting my strength back, so regardless, it helped my joints loosen up a little bit, helped the muscles loosen up a little bit. And then after maybe an hour of enjoying the nice hot spring, we had dinner, of course, and some drinks and great conversation. That I think when you're deciding on maybe traveling abroad to get this operation, as opposed to either getting in your home country or from somewhere else outside of the United States, or getting in the United States like myself, cost obviously has a big factor to do with it. But I was saying the other day, I don't think that experience would have been the same if I maybe chose to go to another country, Germany or China or India, where I know they do this operation sometimes, because I don't think that we would have gotten the same experience. I know it's only 3 times that we went out, but it still made a huge difference to be able to see this country a little bit, because a lot of people don't know much about Armenia, you know? If you're not Armenian, and it's a beautiful country and it was pretty amazing.